Hello, everyone, and welcome to a yoga practice today. Again, always make sure that you have room around you, in front, up, behind, and that you are feeling very well today. So that if there's any movements that don't feel right, please stop. Anytime you start a new exercise program, make sure you always consult a physician before getting started. And other than that, let's just have some fun. So let's come on down to your mat. Again, I always like to start seated. It is the most relaxing way that I find. You can do this standing, you can do this lying down, but seated seems to work the best for me. And so if you want to join me in a posture where you can connect equally on both sides, just give a little rock, kick a leg out, maybe sit with one leg on top of the other. Sometimes this is comfortable. Sometimes both legs are comfortable. Do whatever feels right for you. And then once you've positioned yourself so that you're comfortable on your mat, I want you to just take a moment to close your eyes. Once your eyes are closed, just relax the shoulders, relax your jaw. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and then slowly release it through the mouth. Big inhale through the nose, and a soft exhale through the mouth. Let's do that a few more times. Big inhale, slow, soft exhale. One more time. Big, full belly breath right into the belly. Even slower exhale. Go ahead and take your hands and rise them all the way up to the sky. Take a look up to the ceiling. Slowly exhale. Bring those hands down through heart center. Let's do this a few times. Big rise, big inhale all the way up. Exhale, coming down. Let's do this two more times. Big inhale, rise up. Exhale, slowly come down. One more time, big rise up. And exhale, come down. Place your hands on your knees. Stack your head. Go ahead and take your shoulders all the way up to the ears. Pull them back and then slide them down and together. Eyes opened or closed. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, pull back and down. Two more times. Inhale, rise it on up. Pull back and down. Last time, rise up. Pull back and down. So your shoulder blades are connected now in a V shape down your back. And I just want you to take your right arm and I want you to hold onto your front of your knee with both hands. Okay? And I just want you to pull back on that right shoulder, holding onto that knee, and then look over that right shoulder. And then sit back up, and then pull back on the left one, holding onto the knee, and pull back and look over the other one. We're just going to shift side to side, pull back and look. Should be getting a nice little stretch. Pull back and look. You're waking up your cervical spine. You're getting a little bit of mobility in the shoulders, a little stretch, and just a small little thoracic movement. Okay. Let's do that one more time each side. And the other side, we're going to add on here. Now, if you're comfortable with your hands on your knees, you can leave them there. If you're ready, go ahead and pull back and lift up your left hand as you reach, and then place your hand down. Pull back on that left side, reach the right, and down. Go ahead and do that again. Reach and come down, and then reach and come down. Now start to cross your hand over diagonally by keeping both butt cheeks down. Go ahead and reach, lean, look over to that same side that you're holding onto the knee and come back down. This will be important for a little bit later on. So we're looking over that shoulder, reaching coming back down. One more time. Go ahead and reach, lean, and come back to center. So hopefully you got a little bit of a stretch along the lats. You've started to feel yourself grounded as we were starting to shift our weight side to side. Go ahead and let's make our way into all fours. So come into your first tabletop position. Your fingertips are spread nice and wide. Knees underneath your hips, toes are tucked. And I just want you to soften the elbows out to the sides, okay? If you need to turn your hands out just slightly to the side, that's fine too. I'm keeping mine relatively straight, but that's because I don't have any issues with my wrists this morning, all right? So roll the shoulders back and down, tuck your toes for the plantar stretch, and then just bring your chest slowly down to the mat as you bend your elbows, and then push it back up. Exhale. We're warming up the chest today, the shoulders, the back. Again, a lot of the times we don't use a lot of these muscles, especially if we have a seated job. And all the way up. See if you can slide your shoulder blades together down the back. Maybe your nose, maybe your forehead touches the mat. Maybe it doesn't. I'm not worried about that. I just want you to start to feel the squeeze in between the blades and then come back up. We're going to take this and shift your weight to the front. Okay, so hopefully you can see that I've shifted my weight to the front. Then I'm bending my elbows down, coming straight down. I'm going to go across the bottom in a line and then push myself back up. So we're drawing a giant box over to the front. Lower yourself down. Slide over to the back of your mat and then straight up. Okay, so we're going to inhale. We're going to exhale down. We're going to inhale to slide across. We're going to exhale to come up. One more time. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Go down on the backside. So go down, exhale, inhale across, exhale, inhale across, exhale. All right, so we're drawing this giant box. And now we're just going to smooth it out. All right, so we're going to draw a big circle. So we're going that same direction. Drop the chest, lift yourself up. Let's add in a belly drop. So drop the belly down when you come down, and then arch the back up into that cat when you come up. Drop it down. Shoulders should be starting to get really mobile. We're adding in the back. Drop the belly down. Inhale, rise up. One more time. Belly down. Inhale up, reverse. So come to the front, exhale down. And now inhale all the way up. Arch that back. Drop the belly down. And inhale. You're drawing circles or squares, whatever you prefer. We're just getting the back involved if you're drawing the circles now. One more time. And tabletop. I want you to take your toes now, big toes touch, knees outside of the hips, and come into an active child's pose. So you're really reaching forward on the mat. And then you're going to be able to walk your fingertips a little bit further and then bring your head down between your arms. Now you can stay in this posture here if you want a little bit deeper stretch. What I want you to do is keep your back hand firmly on the mat. You're going to take your front hand, thread it through, and grab onto your back ankle. Go ahead and turn to look at your back hand or your back shoulder. And really reach forward with that back hand as you're holding onto your ankle. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So first, place your hand down and sit into an active child's pose. So really reaching forward with that front hand. Once that hand is planted, don't let it slide. Just lift up the back hand and thread it through to find your front ankle. And once you've found that, go ahead and turn and look at your shoulder. That front shoulder. Head can be placed down. You can still hold it up. But I really want you to be reaching for your ankle and reaching for the top of your mat. A couple of more breaths here. And let's release that hand from between the legs. Come on up into our first downward facing dog. All right, so hopefully you are feeling nice and woken up in the shoulders. Feet are hip distance apart. Go ahead and drop your front heel down, lifting your back heel, and then switch sides. Now your feet are about hip distance apart. You spread your hands out nice and wide so you're gripping with your fingertips and your thumb. And then we're just gently pressing our heels to the back of the mat. Again, I like this one because you are getting an inversion. Your head is lower than your heart. You're starting to wake up your calves. Your Achilles tendon is getting a stretch from that plantar surface of the foot. We're just slowly walking our feet. All right. Let's go ahead and drop both of our heels down. Again, not worried if they touch the mat or not, but we're just going in that direction. Send your hips high and let your head hang. Look between your knees. Press those fingertips down into the mat. Go ahead and take your front leg, send it up high into the sky. We're going to start off by pulling that knee right up into the chest, arch the back like we did earlier, and then look between your hands. Step, guide, place that foot down between those hands. Drop your back ankle and go ahead and inhale to warrior one. Good. Sink into that knee. Feel the strength in that posture. We're going to slowly turn it to a warrior two. So you separate your hands, opening up your stance a little bit more if you need to, and then rolling the shoulders back. We're going to go ahead and flip our palms up, both of our palms up, and you're just going to lean forward, putting most of the weight into that front foot. And then from here, we're just going to reverse it back, look to the ceiling, and reach behind your leg. Go ahead and windmill to the top of your mat. Take a giant step up to the top. Inhale to a halfway hold, hands halfway up your shins, flatten out that back. Exhale to your forward fold. One more time, inhale to your halfway hold. Exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Sit into a chair with your butt back and down, knees towards your toes. Inhale, rise all the way up. Let's go ahead and forward fold straight down. Take a step back with the front leg. Take a step back with the back leg. Go ahead, set yourself up again. Fingertips spread nice and wide, feet hip distance apart. Let your head hang, look between your knees. Walk your dog a few times. Maybe notice that you're getting a little bit more range of motion now that we're starting to wake those muscles up. Press both of your heels to the back of the mat. Send the hips high. Let the head hang. Press into the fingers. When you're ready, back leg comes all the way up. You're going to exhale and pull that knee right up into your chest as you arch your back. And then you can look between your hands and maybe guide or place that foot down. Drop your back heel on the diagonal. Press into the front foot and lift up using your core. Hips are squared. We're going to now be able to turn to the front in our warrior two. Opening up your stance a little bit more. Flipping your hands up. Shoulders back and down. Putting the weight into that front foot, just tip from the hip. Good. And now that we've got this lengthening here, we're just going to reverse this warrior and look up to the sky. We're going to windmill these hands all the way down to the top of the mat. Lifting that back heel, take a step up to the top. Inhale to the halfway hold. Exhale, let it go. One more time. Inhale, halfway hold, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale into your chair. Weight is in the heels. Lift those toes up. Inhale, rise up, look up. Go ahead and come back into your chair. Lift your toes. Send the weight into your heels. Knees track towards second and third toe. Inhale, rise it on up. Go ahead and forward fold down. Step back with the front leg. Step back with the back leg. Go ahead and drop to your knees. Bring your chest just forward of your hands into a kneeling plank. Exhale, lower your chest down as your ribs, check out where my elbows are. My ribs are being brushed by my elbows. Feet flat on the floor. Inhale to a baby cobra. Tuck your toes, push back into child's pose. Come on up. Let's go into downward facing dog. All right, feet hip distance apart, fingertips gripping the mat, head looking between the knees. Go ahead and take that front leg, send it up. Go ahead and bend at the knee. Send your front leg to the back of your mat. Go ahead and pull the knee into your chest. Exhale, really arch that back. Don't place the foot down. Go ahead, send it all the way up into three-legged dog. Bend your knee, reach behind you with that toe. Send it all the way up into the air. Exhale, pull it into the chest. One more time. Big lengthening of the leg. Exhale, bend at the knee. Go ahead, send that toe to the sky. This time, pull it through. Exhale, scoop the belly up. Place the foot down. Drop your back heel on the diagonal. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two, palms up. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, float down to the floor. Inhale, step it in. Exhale, halfway hold. Inhale, down. Exhale, halfway hold. Go ahead, touch the floor and stay here. Now, with your feet hip distance apart and your hands on the mat, I want you to go ahead and roll back onto your heels, lifting your toes. My knees are bent. Once you're here, you're just going to lift your hands up and come into chair from the forward fold position. Go ahead and dive back down. Toes stay lifted if you can. Go ahead and roll back onto those heels. Dive forward. One more time. Lift up and hold here. Sit down, lift high, shoulders back and down. Good. If you can, go ahead and sweep up onto your toes and lift your heels, changing your balance. Change your balance even more. Reach those hands behind you, hands on your hips, or if you can, interlace your fingers. Dive forward, stay on those tippy toes. Find your balance. Go ahead, drop your heels, rise your hands up, come to standing. And then swan dive down. Take a step back with one foot. Take a step back with the other. You may come to the knees or a high plank. Inhale to come forward. Weight of your chest just forward of your hands. Exhale, slowly lower down. Elbows brush the ribs. Full cobra. Baby is the option. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. All right, we're starting to get a little warmer now. Go ahead, lift the back leg up. Grip down with your fingertips. Make any adjustments you need to. Look at your knee. Bend your knee in the back to drop to the front of your mat. Exhale, pull that knee right up into your chest. Scoop the belly up. Go ahead, extend your leg back to three-legged dog. Bend the knee, let it drop. Straighten that leg and pull it into the belly. We'll do that two more times. Three-legged dog. Go ahead and bend your knee and reach for the front of your mat. Extend the leg three-legged. Pull it back in. One more time. Elongate. Then bend. This one's going all the way through. Point the toe. Pull the knee into the chest. Place that foot down. Drop your back heel. Warrior one, rise up. Exhale, warrior two, palms up. Inhale, reverse that warrior. Exhale, sweep it down to the floor. Inhale, step up. Exhale, halfway hold. Inhale, back to the floor. Exhale. Go ahead, touch the floor. Lift your toes. Lift your hands. Rock back into those heels. You're in chair. Go ahead, come up onto the toes. Lean on in. If you can, take those hands behind you. Interlace them behind your back. Go ahead, dive forward. Stay on the tippy toes if you can. We're going to drop down to the heels. Inhale, rise all the way up. Go ahead and swan dive down. Step back with one foot. Step back with the other. Chaturanga or take a break. Inhale to come forward. Knees or toes lower down. Inhale. Maybe you come up to that full dog, knees off the mat. Exhale, push back and down. All right, walk your dog. We're going to do that a little bit faster. We're going to do it with a lot more love, yes? So this is a quick practice. Get your heart rate up, strengthening your shoulders, strengthening your core. All right, opening up those hips through the touchbacks with the bent knee. and then challenging our balance by working on our heels and our toes. All right, so fingertips, grip them in, knees, take a look at them. Feet hip distance apart. Front leg, rise it up. Go ahead and bend the knee. Let it drop. Point the toe. Pull it in. And this come to a plank as you pull it in. Send it all the way back. Bend the knee. Tap the back. Lengthen. Pull it in. Come to a plank. Option is just staying in downward facing dog when you pull that knee in. Otherwise, come into the plank. One more time, all the way up. Bend, extend. We're going through. Place that foot down between. Go ahead, drop your back heel. Warrior one. Exhale into a warrior two, palms face up. Go ahead and reach behind you. This time we're going to float and reach for the floor. We're going to reverse it one more time. Reach behind you. And then sweep all the way down to the top of the mat. Go ahead, take a giant step in. Halfway hold. Exhale to the floor. Lift your heels up. You're balancing on your toes. Take your hands, sweep them up. You're on your toes. Lean a little more forward. Reach behind your back. Go ahead, bring your hands up over your shoulders. Drop your heels, stand tall. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, swan dive. Step back one foot. Step back the other. Optional chaturanga. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, lower down. Baby cobra, full cobra, up dog. Exhale, push back. Back leg high into the sky. Bend at the knees, let it drop to the front. Extend the leg straight, three-legged dog. Plank as you pull the knee into the chest. Three more, all the way up. Exhale across. Extend the leg. Pull into the chest. Two more, all the way up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, you've got this. Just one more. Lift. Can you feel your calf? Can you feel your core? Can you feel your shoulders? Pull it through. Place the foot down. Drop your back heel. Warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Go ahead and reverse your warrior. Go ahead and bring it forward. See if you can touch the ground. Reverse the warrior one more time. Sink deep. Sweep it all the way to the top. Take a giant step in. Lift your toes. Once your toes are lifted, shift the weight to your heels. Lift the hands. All right, stay with the toes lifted. See if you can reach behind you. Toes are lifted this time, not the heels. Now that we've got this, go ahead and switch it to the toes. Lift those heels. Go as high as you can. And then we're going to scoop those hands up. Keep your butt low. Stay in chair. Reach all the way up. Oh, I lost it, but I want you to get into the chair on your tippy toes. Dive forward. Let it go. Inhale, halfway hold. Exhale, forward fold. Step back one foot. Step back the other. Chaturanga before we take a break. Inhale to come forward, knees or toes. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, push back. Drop to your knees. Big toes touch. Sit back and down. Reaching your backhand as far as you can. Up to the top of your mat. Taking your front hand, thread it through and see if you can hold on to the outside of your back foot. Take a look at your back armpit. Press that armpit down and press the front shoulder into the ground. A couple of deep breaths here. Nice lat stretch. Switch it out. Go ahead and reach forward. If this is more comfortable for you to stay right here, feel free. Otherwise, we're reaching forward with that front hand. We're taking the back hand, and we're seeing if we can come to the outside of that front foot. Reaching down lower for the toes if you can. Keeping your front hand completely palm face down. Then we turn and look at the armpit. Bring the armpit down and bring the back shoulder down. So you're trying to get your chest level and flattened to the mat. When you're ready, release out from between, walk yourselves up, and roll yourself onto your back. How are we doing? Whew. Alrighty, let's work in the back. Now remember that first move I showed you where we were seated and we were just pulling back, and then eventually we were reaching over, and then we were doing the same thing on the other side. We were holding on to our knees, and then we were pulling back the shoulder, and then reaching. We're going to do the same idea. It's a great stretch, but we're going to do it on our backs. So I want you to come into the center of your mat, have roll back and lie down, and your knees are bent. Okay, we're just going to rock our heads gently side to side. If you're like me, you have a kind of ponytail. Just make sure that your head lays flat and we're not on any little bump. We don't want to have the neck in any inconvenient way. We want it fully supported. And then you're just going to take your hands, palms face down. Okay? Heels close to the bum. We're just going to inhale to a bridge pose. Chin tries to touch the chest. You squeeze your butt. And then you slowly roll down. A couple more times. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, come back down. One more time. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, come down. All right. So from here, what I need you to do is take those hands out like a T, palms faced down. If you have any problems with the palms face down, just supinate those hands, okay? But I want them down if you can. And then I want you to take the back hand. I just want you to reach it across. And then I want you to see if you can reach over your head and take a look at it. You might not be able to see your hand, but I'm not worried about it. You're looking in that direction. And then bring it back down. Head neutral. Go ahead, take your front hand, reach diagonally over, see if you can touch the floor, and bring it back. All right, so now we've got the idea. Palms down, reach and look, see if you can reach. Go ahead and come back down, reach and look. All right, here's where the fun part begins. Go ahead, your heels are close to your bum, lift your butt up, come up onto the shoulders, and do the same thing. Reach over, big stretch, reach as far as you can, and lift your hips up. And then slowly lower back down, look to the ceiling, lift up and stretch. Get onto that shoulder, and then come back down. Big inhale, lift the hips, roll onto that front shoulder, reach as far as you can. Slowly come back down. Do the same thing on the other side. Reach and come back down. All right. So again, we got a little massage for the shoulders there, a little stretch, and we worked our posterior with our hamstrings, glutes, and our lower back. Let's continue with this one. Palms faced up this time. Okay, we're taking out the ability to balance a little bit more with the palms down. If you're okay with the palms down, please go. But taking the palms face up means you have a little less to anchor yourself down with. Heels close to your bum. Go ahead and inhale all the way up. Come into your bridge. And let's see if we can walk our feet in a little bit closer to our bum. Now that we've got that going on, lift your front heel. And then swap it for your back heel. Front heel and back heel. Two more times. One and two. Keep your hips as high as you can. The last time. One and two. Drop your heels down. And then lift your heels up. Drop your heels down. Lift your heels up. Adding on. Drop your butt down halfway. Heels are down. And then pop right up onto those toes. Squeeze your butt. Drop down halfway. And lift it up. Two more times. And down. And up. Last one down. And up. Lower all the way down. Pull a knee into the chest. Followed by another one. Give yourself a good squeeze here. And a little rock side to side. All right, so that's our base movement. Feel free to go back to that anytime you want. We can add on. Go ahead and place those feet down. Hands down, palms up, face down if you need a little more support. Or if you would like to, take those hands now and bring them so that your elbows are bent, they're pointed to the sky, and your fingertips are touching just about where your ears are. Heels are close to your bum. Go ahead and lift up and press into your fingertips. Lower back down. Go ahead and press into those fingertips, lifting up. One more time, come down. Go ahead and lift your butt up. Lift your heels up. and press into your fingertips. Walk your feet out. So walk out those toes. Walk out the other toes. Keep pressing into your fingertips and then walk in. Walk in. Go out. Out. In and in. You should feel your butt really working and your core. Your fingers are by your ears so that you can't use those arms, but you still have a little bit of balance going on. One more time. Walk in. In. All right. Drop your heels down, your butt halfway down, and then pop all the way up. That first move again. Drop the heels down, butt halfway down, pop all the way up. Go ahead. 2 more times. Down, all the way up. Last one, down, and all the way up. Go ahead and relax down. Pull one knee into the chest, followed by the other. Wrap around. All right. Adding on. Again, we're working the back now. We did a lot for the chest. We're getting into the posterior part of the body. And again, we need to strengthen that. It's the powerhouse. It's what drives all of our walking, jumping, running. So we need to have that nice and strong. And a lot of us happen to sit on this more than we probably should. All right, so let's place our feet down again. Hands, palms down if you need the most support. Palms up if you need a little less. By your ears if you want the challenge, because it makes you go up a little bit higher. Elbows point to the sky. Fingertips gently by your ears. Heels close to your bum. Go ahead and elevate. Go ahead and lift your heels. Walk the feet in a little bit more so you can get to the height. Press into your fingertips like you're trying to lift your chest up. Once you've got that, lift your front knee up and try and keep those hips level. Now we're balancing. All right, let's go ahead and point that toe if you can. Go ahead and bend the knee and place it down. Don't worry if you can't get that leg straight. It depends on hamstrings. Lift up. Point toe, press your fingers into the ground. Bring the knee to 90, place it down. One more time. Hips are level. Squeeze your core, point the toe. 90-degree bend, put it down. Go ahead and lift, lengthen, and roll down. Pull the knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug here. All right, so now that we've done a lot of this work, if you would like to come into full wheel, that is your option. Otherwise, you can stay with any version of the bridge that we've done. If you'd like to come into the wheel, you are prepped for this. You go ahead and place your hands by your ears, okay? And then once you've done that, walk the feet in nice and close. You can lift your bum up. Feet on the floor right now. Once you've done that, go ahead and press into those fingertips to lift up your chest. Okay? And if you want, you can go ahead and lift up your toes and look at your hands. Slowly tuck your chin, lower your shoulders down first, then lower everything down. Now, if that's too much for your fingertips, you can take your hands and see if you can place them down completely on the ground. We'll do this one more time for those who want to do it. Otherwise, we're just practicing getting up and pressing our hands in and lifting our chest. Maybe we only do a couple of presses and we're not even getting off of the floor. That's fine. That's still strengthening. If you want to try one more time, my fingertips are now on the ground, as are my palms. Elbows face the sky. Heels close to my bum. Lifting up the bum. Then feet are grounded, tucking the chin just slightly, pressing into the palms or your fingertips, whichever one you're on, and lifting all the way up. Okay? Look down at your hands. We can now do a little bit of a lift of the heels. If that's comfortable for you and you want to try and lift a leg up, go ahead and put your heels down first and then lift up that knee. Go ahead and point the toe up. Bend the knee, place that foot down. You can do this with your arms and your back on the ground. Ooh, that one was a little wiggly there. Even I lose my balance. Slowly low down and roll it out. Ooh, that was a good one. All right, a little shake side to side. And place those feet down. Let's go ahead and take our hands out nice and wide. Drop your knees to the front. Coming up and over to the back. Go ahead and come back through center. One more time to the front. Look to the back. Through the center and look to the front. All right, back through the center. Go ahead and grab onto your knees. If you want to cross at the ankles and rock and roll yourself up, tuck the chin and start a little rock and roll. Start to massage your spine, and we'll come back to seated. Everyone just meets in seated posture, and we're good to go for one more flow. Roll yourself over. All right, this is it. So we've worked the back body with all of that work. We've worked the front. We worked the chest through rolls. We've worked in with our cardio with our chaturangas. We're going to do it all again. So tuck those toes, come into downward facing dog. All right, press your heels to the back of the mat, spread those fingertips nice and wide, look between your knees. If you want to do a chaturanga, now's the time. Inhale to come forward, knees or toes, exhale, lower down. Inhale, baby cobra, full cobra, up dog. Exhale, push back. Front leg high into the sky. Bend the knees, let it drop. Go ahead, come to plank, pull that knee right up into the chest. Other option is arching the back. Go ahead and dip the toe. Send it up. Your other option is this one. Just arch the back, stay in downward dog. One more time. Tip the toe back. Your choice to come into the plank or arch the back. Send it all the way up. Go ahead and pull that knee all the way through. Place the foot down. Drop the heel on the diagonal. Warrior one. Sink down. Exhale. Warrior two. Palms up. Reach behind you. And then reach for the floor in front of you. One more time. Big reach. Maybe go up the back and hold. And then exhale, reach for the floor. Bring yourself all the way up to warrior one. Place the hands down, lift the back heel. Instead of stepping up, walk those hands out and lift up into a warrior three. Soften your front knee and lift those hands out to the side. Let's soar. If you're good here, stay right here. If you would like, bend that knee in the air. Front hand reaches for the toe. And then we're going to come to standing while holding onto that toe. Lift yourself all the way up. Bring that back hand to reach to the sky. Hold here. Now, if you've still got that toe and you're comfortable, you can come into a one-legged chair, or you can release that foot and put it down and come into your chair. So if you're good, just sink down into a chair, bringing that knee towards the toe, sitting back and down, and pulling that leg to the front. Press your top of your toe into the palm of your hand. Let's go ahead and release it. How'd it go? I tell you. All right. One more time, shall we? All right, we're thinking about all the things that we're doing right now. There's no time to think about anything else in our life. That's part of the joy of yoga. We're trying to figure out what I'm doing. You're trying to get your body into that position. There is no time to think about the future, the past. You're right here in the present moment, and that's where I need you to be. Okay, just take a moment to regain yourself. Deep inhale, slow, soft exhale. Close your eyes if you're comfortable standing with your eyes closed. Relax the shoulders, wiggle out the fingers, maybe shimmy the hips by shifting the knees, by bending the knees side to side. Inhale, rise all the way up, and forward fold straight down. Step back with one foot. Step back with the other. Optional chaturanga here. Inhale to come forward. Exhale to lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, push back. Back leg high into the sky. There's only three of them. Bend the knee, point the toe to the front of the mat. Go ahead and come into your plank or arch your back. Inhale. Exhale, point. Inhale, reach. Exhale, arch back or plank. Last one. Go ahead, lengthen. Bend at the knee. Go ahead, come up, pull through, and place that foot down. Drop your back heel. Rise up, warrior one. Sink down, palms up. Go ahead and reach behind. Go ahead and reach down for the floor. One more time. Big reversal. Look to the sky. Take that hand and pull it up your back if you can. Go ahead and reach down for the floor. We're going to come back into our warrior one. So hips squared, lift your back heel and lean forward, touch the floor. Lift up that back or that front foot, back foot, the knee is bent. Once we've got a little bit of bend in that knee, that gives us a little bit of ability to balance better. Locking out that joint makes it really hard to balance. So now we're just going to lift up those hands. If you are good here, see if you can bend that front leg, the leg that's in the air, and see if you can find it, your toes, with that back hand. If you're good, stand up in this posture. Go ahead and hold, reach for the sky. Now you can have the option of putting the foot down, or we can sink into a one-legged chair. Your butt goes back, okay? So I've lost the balance. That's okay. Again, I'm going to hold on to my foot again. I'm going to give it a go. So send the butt back first. The knees track towards the center of the foot, second and third toe. And then once we've got that, we can lengthen out that front leg by pressing into the palm of our hand and sinking a little bit lower. Go ahead and release it. So you're also getting a stretch in that quad, very similar to if we were standing here and just holding onto the same one, except you're doing the diagonal version of it. So you've got an external rotation of the hip. We can do dancer's pose now because we're completely ready for it. I'm just going to center myself on the mat. Feel free to come off your mat if you find that being on a soft surface challenges your balance more than you want to today. So now that we've got our feet underneath our hips, soften the knees. Again, locking out the knees make it really hard to balance. If you think about locking your knees and someone coming and pushing you from the side, it's a lot easier to have a knee bent so that you can do a lot of shifting motions to allow yourself to balance better. So soften those knees. Spread your toes out nice and wide. Sink in. We've lifted up. We've dropped down. So we can do that a couple of times, right? And once you've got full placement of one foot, doesn't matter which one, I'm going with the back leg, and I'm just lifting up the heel of the front. Okay? Now that we've got this, go ahead and roll your shoulders back and down and let those hands just be like a strong mountain pose. Lifting up your foot off of the ground and then sending it back, go ahead and catch your ankle. Okay? Shoulders are still relaxed. I'm bringing your knees to touch. Mine are touching, and I'm bringing my heel to a flex now. So I've got an L shape in the heel. Once you've got that, you can now start to tip forward, bringing your backhand forward. If you want to touch your index finger or your middle finger and your thumb, you can do that just to bring awareness to those fingers. And then you send your other leg back as you reach forward and you lengthen. Now you're going to get a hamstring stretch of the standing leg. You're probably feeling it there. Hip flexor in that front leg, a curvature in the spine. And then let it go. All right. Let's try it on the other side. Feet hip distance apart. Lift up onto the toes. Drop onto the heels. Spread the toes nice and wide. A bigger foundation for balancing. Once you've got that, shoulders back and down, strong mountain pose. Go ahead and shift the weight into that front leg or the other leg that you didn't use already. And just bring that back knee up. Slide the knees together, touch them, and then reach behind you to find your ankle. Knees are still touching. The sweep doesn't go out on the outside. It goes straight back with that knee. So the knees would still be touching if you were coming forward and backwards. They're not out here, okay? So try and keep it nice and straight so you've got that nice long spine and you're not tipping to one side, okay? So dancers have to have an incredible center of gravity, especially for twirling, spinning. So we want to make sure that we always have that long spine here. We're going to start with the hand, and we're just going to reach it forward. You can touch the thumb and the index finger, middle finger, just to bring awareness to what you're doing. Once you've done that, go ahead and lean forward. Keep the knee in that same track. You've got the L shape in the ankle, so you've got it flexed. And then you're reaching forward, arching your back, kicking that leg high into the sky, and then reaching up as if you are making a circle. And if someone was to shine a light between it, you'd be able to have a perfect circle shining on the wall behind. Couple of more breaths here, and then release it. Challenging posture when you start to think about the fingers, the toes, the arch of the back. A lot of the times we don't think about it. All right, let's go ahead and come to the top of our mats. Let's inhale, rise all the way up. Let's exhale through heart center. Let's bring it on down. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, forward fold. Take a step back with one foot. Take a step back with the other. Our last chaturanga of the class. You can inhale to come forward. Exhale, lower down. Elbows are still brushing the ribs. Baby cobra, full cobra. Up dog. Exhale. Push back, downward facing dog. Go ahead and drop to those knees. And push your butts back and down. Regular child's pose here. We're going to take it so that we're on our tabletop again. So come into tabletop. Let's go ahead and bring our knees just to the sides of our mat. If you can go a little bit further, then I suggest you switch to the long length of your mat. And I just want you to walk your feet out. Okay? Your heels are in line with your knee. Okay, so take a look. Heels in line with my knee, and then you're turning the feet out. Okay? Once you've got that, you're going to press the heels down into the ground. You're going to slowly walk your butt back towards your heels and then lower your chest down. You're going to get some nice stretching inside adductors. Press back and down. Now again, I've got my elbows out to the side. I'm bringing my chest down and I'm squeezing my back, sending my butt as I go. A couple of nice deep breaths here. Quite intense frog pose. Lifting all the way up. Shift the weight forward and go ahead and see if you can walk those knees out a little bit more. Walking the knees out a little bit more, 1 inch on each side, and then I'm aligning my ankles. Okay. Now, once we've got this, my hands are underneath my shoulders. Again, you can turn slightly out, or you can just do what I'm doing with the fingertips pointed straight forward. And then we're just going to lower our chest down and push our butts back at the same time. Okay, so lowering down, so you're getting the shoulders to squeeze together. You're still working your chest, and we're opening up those hips. Now, again, if this is too much work for the upper body, feel free to drop down to those elbows, and that just takes all the work out of the top of the body. But why not get a 2-for-1? You've got the time, you've got the positioning, so go ahead and sink down first with the chest holding your upper body, and then push it back and sink your hips towards the back of your mat. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and push yourself straight up. Go ahead and lean forward. Heels come together, and then you can sit back and bring those knees back towards one another. Whew. All right, let's go ahead and come onto our mats. Let's take it down. All right, so we did quite a few stretches already. We did the one we were lying on our back, and we crossed over. We're just lying on our back now. We've got our heels close to our bums. We've got our hands up and palms faced up. Go ahead and drop those knees to the front. Look to the back. And go ahead and switch sides. Go ahead and come back through the center. Take your ankle, cross it over one of your thighs. Go ahead and gently guide that knee a little further away from the body. Hips are both squared and down. We're taking our hands and we're threading it through, holding onto our hamstring, the back of the leg, or if we can, reach for that calf. Take your chin, tuck it right down so that you're lengthening your neck. So you're taking out the little arch in your neck that naturally happens. So you're just lengthening it out through being able to press your chin into your chest. And then take your tailbone and send it down. Try and get the whole length of your spine against the ground. The ankle that is furthest away from you, that's not crossed over, give it a couple of circles here. and circle it around. You're drawing the circles with your big toe. Then I want you to point your toe all the way down and flex it up. Point it down and flex it up. Point your toe and just shake it side to side as if you were trying to say no with your toe. So point it as much as you can and then just wag it side to side, maybe like a dog that's happy. Anything that gets you in that motion side to side. And then let's go ahead and place that foot down. Let's do it on the other side. So cross the ankle over and then push that knee away. So just opening up that hip. Once you've got that opening, go ahead, thread through, grab onto your shin or your hamstring, whichever makes the most sense for your body on this side. Then we're tucking the chin, trying to take that little arch out of the spine and the neck, and doing the same thing with tucking the tailbone down. Now, you probably won't get your spine completely flat, but I want you to think about that so you get a nice stretch because you're fully protected being on the ground, and this is the best way to lengthen out all those vertebrae from being curved all the time, usually from seated. Then we're just going to take our toe and draw those big circles. Sometimes the big circles feel really good. If you're feeling all those little cricks and cracks coming out, that's awesome as long as it doesn't hurt. And then rotate the other way. We're going to do a dorsiflexion, and then we're just going to point, dorsiflexion, dorsi-extension, and then I want you to come into the full extension and then just go side to side. So wag your little tail or shaking your head side to side with your toe instead. Just do a couple of those and see how that feels. That really gets my calf to work and the tops of my feet. Again, we should have a lot of this movement, but because we wear shoes and we sit a lot, we don't get a lot of this movement. So go ahead and just release that. Foot comes down. And we're going to come and extend our arms out either to the side, up over our head. We're going to lengthen out one leg if it feels good. We're going to lengthen out the other one. We're going to come into our final pose, our Shavasana. So again, I just want you to relax your shoulders. Let your lips part. Soften in and around the eyes. Let the creases around the eyes, the forehead, the brows, let that all go. Take a very deep breath in. And slowly let it go. 2 more big inhale. Slowly let it go. 1 more time. Now, the hardest part I find of classes is trying to do nothing with the body and just keeping the mind right here during the class. It is very easy to stay present because we're trying to listen to what I'm saying. You're trying to watch what I'm doing. You're trying to get your body, trying to get your mind to get your body to do the postures. Also feeling the sensations of the postures. That's all stuff that keeps you right here. But as soon as you're just one with your body and your mind, not thinking about anything except the present moment, that's where it becomes a challenge. So to do that, we can either focus on some of the sounds we hear, we can focus on our breath, we can focus on individual parts of the body that might need a little more relaxation. So thinking about things like your pinky toe, and then going to the one beside it, and maybe that center toe, and the one beside it, and then finally the big toe. And we can also do that with our hands. letting the lips part, the tongue be heavy, following the breath. Relax the shoulders. Try not to brace the core. Trying to let the spine lengthen. Just following the breath. Staying in your Shavasana for longer if you'd like. If it is time to wiggle those fingers, wiggle those toes. Maybe give it a little roll of the wrists and the ankles, one way, the other way. Maybe a flexion and an extension. And then we're going to reach our hands up over our head one at a time. And then we're going to take our palms up. And we're going to take our toes and point them down. So palms up, feet facing down. And then we're just going to reach our fingertips as high as we can and our toes as far away from each other as they possibly can get. Arch your back, lifting, lifting, stretching, reaching. Big inhale. And then exhale, let that stretch go. Slide one of your heels towards your body, followed by the other one. Take those hands out to the side. Give a little rock side to side with those knees. And then once we've done that a couple times, choose a side that you want those knees to roll right onto and come into your side lying posture. Bottom arm can be used to support your head. Top hand, just let it fall in front of your body. Again, maybe side lying postures where you want to spend a little bit more time in Shavasana. But if you're ready to sit up, again, I encourage you to press into the hand in front of the body by using your arm muscles. Walk yourself up with the other one, and then come back onto your mat. From here, close your eyes, sit up nice and tall. Go ahead and place your hands on your knees if you're seated cross-legged. Shoulders up, back, and down. Let's just go ahead and lean over to the left side, and then hold onto your knee and lean over to the right. My eyes are closed, but feel free to keep yours open if you want. And then over to the right. Let's go ahead and look at our right shoulder as we tip. And then look at our left shoulder as we tip. One more time. Shift. And shift. This time we're going to bring our right shoulder to our left knee. We're going to circle through. We're going to switch shoulders and come up. We'll do it the other way. Drop down. Center through. We did this on a tabletop position, and now we're doing it seated. Just getting different waves of gravity that affect and pull on our bodies. Same movement, different pull of gravity. One more time each way. Come down, bring your chest down, circle it around, come up. Last time, down, around, circle it, come up. Let's take a deep breath in, rise those hands all the way up. Big inhale. Exhale down through the center. We'll do that one more time. Big rise, big inhale all the way up. Head stacks naturally. Let those hands come into your lap. And thank you for another amazing practice. I hope everyone has a rest of the day, week, month, year. Have a great one. always come back to your mat when you need a break from the rest of the things that are happening, going on in the future, happened in the past. If you can just come back here, start to move your body, and just really feel the connection between your brain and your body, you'll start to learn things about yourself. You'll let go of the tension, and you'll be able to function a lot better in all the things that we do in our regular lives. So take care, and I'll see you soon.